I'd like to thank you all for coming along tonight. It's absolutely wonderful to see such a fabulous turnout. Oh, there's nearly 40 of us, which is great. And and I've been talking to Richard about getting him to come along and giving us a talk for quite some time now. And he's managed to find the gap in his busy schedule, jet setting around the world, being a coach, a stage hypnotist, and a hypnotherapist, and on cruise ships and everything else that he does. And tonight he's going to share with us some of his some of his tips, some of his strategies, some of the ways that he attracts clients. And I think the emphasis on is on the word attracts. And so we won't waste any more time. Um, I think that introduction says it all. So, Richard, what I'll do is I'll see if I can be clever and spotlight you, and then you can take the stage and welcome to the marketing mingle.
Thank you very much for the invite. It's very nice to be at the mingle, and it's nice to meet everyone. There's lots of people on this call that I do not know, so I love meeting new people. So thank you very much for taking the time out of your evening or your day to jump on the call. As Kev said, we're going to talk about powerful marketing hacks that can attract more business and more attention to your particular brand. And I just wanted to really quickly start off just by saying that we're all in the same boat in a sense that marketing moves at a rapid pace, and I think the trick is and the art is just to really focus in on just a couple of things. That's why we made it 5 hacks, but just a couple of small things that you can really get to become good at. And then move on to the next ones, and then the combined hacks, if you will, or strategies or tips can all elevate, promote, and boost your branding to the next level. Literally, it really, really can. And the other thing I want to say is that whilst we're all in the field of coaching or hypnosis or mentorship and things like that, just because I'm on a stage doesn't make it any different to whether you're in an office or you're not on a stage. The marketing tips and hacks that I'm going to cover are really transferable. We are going to break about halfway through. So if anybody's got any questions, we are going to pause about halfway through, just because I know some of you, that's a good time to quickly pop to the loo. For others, it's a good chance to get those burning questions off your chest. There will be some questions as well, time for questions at the end. And also, everything on the slides that I'm about to show you, you're going to be able to get a copy of. There's going to be a bunch of bonuses at the end for showing up that you'll have access to. But in essence, the slides you're about to see is exactly what you're going to get. So really, unless you take your own personal notes, I would just sit back, relax, immerse yourself in the content. Don't get bogged down with, I know some people hold up their phones to the screen and try and screen capture presentations. Everything is going to get given to you. Nothing is going to get held back. So without further ado, Kev, if I ramble, just rein me in and then just let me know it's question time, and we'll pause and get to question time. It is informal. Happy Thanksgiving to any Americans that are here. And yes, they do eat turkey, and they basically eat a Christmas dinner, a UK Christmas dinner, but they have it early. And then for Christmas dinner, they actually do something else. They have like steak and lobster and things like that. So it's took me about 20 years to get used to that one. So I'm going to share my screen, and let me just see if I've got it all going on here. We're going to go to this one, and we are going to go full screen. Let me know if you guys can see that okay. All good?
That's great.
Perfect. All right, excellent. So I'm just going to see if I can't. Is that still full screen for you guys? I'm being blocked by, oh,
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Is it still full screen?
that's full screen.
Perfect. All right. So first of all, who am I? My name is Richard Barker. I am dubbed the Incredible Hypnotist only because the domain was available. I decided to snag it many years ago, and I decided it would be a good idea to call myself what I believe myself to be. It's one of those sort of future pacing things. So when I very first started out, I just thought that was the way to go. It'd be an incredible idea to be able to brand myself what I thought I was. Of course, at the time, I wasn't. So the strategies I'm about to show you, I've used globally. I do have an office in London and in England, and I actually had an office in New York City. So I've been around the block a few times. I'm a trained hypnotherapist with the NGH. That was many years ago. And also took my first stage hypnosis class. That was a long time ago, probably about 2009, 2010, something like that. So I've become a full-time hypnotist really over the last 20 years. And I see clients every day, like I'm sure some of you do. I do on average up to 300 shows a year. Some of those shows are multiple shows in one day. Sometimes I can do 2 or 3 in one day, especially if it's a fair or a festival. And one thing I've learned that's really been able to elevate my career is understanding the power of marketing. Warren Buffett said, it's not about how hard you row, it's about the boat that you're in. In essence, it's all about taking the easy road when it comes to marketing, not to overcomplicate it, which I know that marketing sometimes just equals overwhelm, and I get it and I understand it. But it's to, as coaches, and I'm sure Kev would agree, it's to simplify your outreach and to simplify your broadcast. So marketing's about elevating your brand and letting other people know that you are about. It's not about working hard, it's about working smarter. Marketing is the first impression of a business. And one thing I constantly see with my clients, my coaching clients, that is the old-fashioned websites, or too much text, or the text too small, or there's lots of like flashing things everywhere, like the old days of the GIFs and the banners and everything else. And what we've come down to now is people prefer simple content. They prefer video that's not in a studio anymore. They prefer video that's just raw, that's in your kitchen or just on your cell phone. And they prefer content that is uncluttered and not full of different things. So a very simple website, it would be just a headline and a video and just a call to action and just really telling people briefly who you are and what it is you do. So if the marketing is too complicated, or it looks like it's too cluttered, or it's just wonky, or not even in the right place, your buyer's never going to buy. So your client's never going to convert, because the message that you're portraying is enough to confuse the person, and a confused mind never buys. So remember, keep it simple, create that first impression, and simplicity is actually the key. Now, I've got a question for you, and I'd like you to type it in the comments, and we'll address these in a few moments. But if you had a magic wand, what are the 3 things you would fix in your business? And it can be anything. Don't put a parameter on it. If you had a magic wand and you waved it, what are the 3 things you would fix in your business? Fix or change? Is it more clients? Is it more hours? Is it a different this, a different that? And do me a favor, type it in the chat, and we'll come back to that later on. It's a question that I got asked once at a networking event, and I think it's a really great question that we can all learn from, in a sense that if we could have the ultimate 3 wishes when it comes to our business, what would it be, and what would we be able to make that change? In other words, what would we be able to address? Now, some of the problems in marketing, and some of the problems, especially with hypnotherapists, some of you can resonate with this, and some of you are definitely aware of this, is that we all learn how to help people, but nobody really taught us the marketing and the business. We didn't go to business in school or marketing school. And if we took our hypnosis class from wherever that was back in the day or more recently, there's never really normally a marketing or business module attached to the hypnotherapy, the coaching, or the mentoring, or the therapy work that we do. And so, of course, marketing is the lifeblood of any business. So whilst we might be really good at helping people, if we don't have any business sense or marketing savviness, and we're not able to connect the dots when it comes to building our brand and our business online, it all falls apart. And actually, statistically, and this is not with hypnotherapy or hypnotists, this is in general, 50% of all businesses don't last their first year. Now, some of you might think, well, isn't that supposed to be higher? Well, it's a 90% failure rate for restaurants, pubs, and things like that, but it's a 50% failure rate in the first year for online businesses. And that's still high, and that's a statistical truth. Our problem number two is you have a lack of consistent leads and clients. Now, that's a problem, not being able to attract enough leads, not being able to get enough clients, so not being able to have an income that you can then spend on your marketing and spend on your mentor or your coach or your AI tools or your website. So a lot of the time, if we don't get enough leads, our river of business just dries up. Problem number three, you have a lack of referrals or repeat business. Now, this is a little bit easier in the hypnosis show world to get repeat and referrals because they see a show, they get blown away, and 1 or 2 years later, they definitely want to hire you back. Or some clients, they've got me rebooked every year for 10, 20 years. Now, when it comes to hypnotherapy clients, some of us were taught, me included, to fix the problem and only address it once and it's solved. So if a stop smoking client comes to see me, I obviously tell them that they're never going to smoke ever again in their entire life, and they always will and always should be and always will be a non-smoker, and they've been a non-smoker for all their life, and you know how that script works, and they don't come back. So then I'm in the repeat business or referral mode. I'm actually leaning more towards referrals. How can I build referrals from the non-smoker? If you do not treat your clients, whether they come to see you once for 1 session or 4 sessions, if you don't treat them like a referral, you can't scale and escalate your business without actually then spending some money on marketing or doing organic outreach like social media. And if you haven't got that repeat business, in other words, you haven't got a contract with a company to actually see 500 employees about stress release, and every time a new employee comes into the company, you're the hypnotist that sees another one for stress release, and you're, in inverted brackets, the mind doctor, or you're the person that's sort of on the payroll to be able to see those clients over and over again as the new ones keep coming in the door, then you really have a de-escalation or de-escalation of your business, because the referrals and repeat business are what keeps your engine and your momentum coming. So what I've done, and I'll show you a bit later on, is built a really robust referral system where I compensate my clients that have got success, that can help build my business, and that actually get rewarded for doing so. So another problem four is, and this is a business statistic I took off the internet the other day, and the source was the USA Today. Don't know how valid that is, but all the same, that's the source. 62% of calls to a business, that's any business, go unanswered. So the problem we have as hypnotists is that if we're in a session, do we have a secretary? Do we have someone answering the phone? Do we have someone that is able to manage our calls? Because a lot of people, they live in the moment, and if they call you because they got your number and they don't get an answer, and they don't know much about hypnosis, but they've just heard somewhere that it works well for weight loss or weight management, do they just then go to the next hypnotist and call the next one up and the next one up until literally someone answers? Or do they leave a bunch of voicemails waiting to get a response? Of course, replying back to our missed calls is a whole nother ball game. But if 62 of our calls go unanswered, and statistically that does happen to me as well, is there a way to solve that? It becomes a problem, because that's potentially 62% of all business that you have could be missed. Now, it could be higher, could be smaller, but generally speaking, we're all missing calls because we can't answer our phone 24 hours a day. It becomes an issue. Problem number five that I've identified is you neglect the follow-up because of a lack of staff, time, or overwhelm. And there's probably a few other things as well. But what that means is, you've been working all day, you're in your office, your practice, your clinic, and you've been dealing with clients all day. We're in a job where we talk a lot. And it comes to the end of the day, and do you really want to follow up with those leads that you received a week last Tuesday? I'm not talking about today's leads. I'm talking about those that came in over the weekend or the last few days or the last 4 days. And then if you do have a good lead system, are you able to have a system where you keep following them all up? because you have the system, or do they just fall off the end and then you're just living in the moment, just firefighting? Do you have a member of staff? They're expensive, and do they follow up with people? Do you run out of time? Or are you just, is it just overwhelm? Are you answering one email at a time or one inquiry at a time or doing discovery calls where you have to be on the phone with potential clients and it's robbing you of time that you could be with other clients? Obviously, it's difficult to clone yourself when you're a hypnotherapist. Not impossible, but you find it difficult to only see a certain amount of clients in one day. So how on earth can you then do all the follow-up? Problem number 6, most of the things we have to do in our hypnotherapy businesses have to be done manually. We do our manual tasks. It may involve other humans and it may cost us time and money. Now, that's things like sending out client intake forms, answering emails, setting up the client, calling the client, taking their deposits, taking their money. How much of what we do becomes a problem when we have to do it all manually? And wouldn't it be much easier if we could do it automatically? Lots of problems. And there are more problems, but here are just a few that just are food for thought. We could hire a full-time marketer or a full-time assistant. We're going to spend on average 60,000 a year. If they're any good, you pay for what you get. That's actually on the low end for a professional marketer, I feel, but that's the general considered cost. Do we try and outsource it? How fast does the outsourcer work for us? Many business owners don't have the budget or the time for this, even just to set it up. I mean, if you've ever tried to hire someone, it's a problem. I mean, if you've ever tried to go through Upwork or Odesk as it was, or Fiverr even, it's still time consuming hiring people to do the jobs that you can't do because you don't have the time. So it takes the time just to do the hiring for the time that you're trying to save, and it kind of defeats the object. It would actually be better if you just had a system in place that just deals with some of those manual tasks. Another problem I noticed is we're in an industry where we have low profit margins only because we don't charge enough for our time and our service. And that's not everybody. That's not, a statement that applies to everyone. But generally what I've noticed is it seems to be a race to the bottom. It seems to be really charging, I think, for an hourly rate, quite a low fee for something that potentially is life-changing. And if we only have 8, 10 hours in the day, can we only see 6 or 8 clients a day? And if we can, we're really capped by the earnings we can make, and we actually can't scale. So sometimes our low profit margins actually prevent us from scaling up our business because we don't have enough money for reinvesting into our business. So it becomes an issue. We don't charge enough. So one of the things we're going to talk about today is the good old AI, which simplifies processes and boosts efficiency. I know there's a lot of mystery surrounding AI and a lot of cynicism, and some people don't trust it. And I get it. I understand. AI is not taking over. It's not trying to replace employees. It's not trying to do anyone out of a job necessarily. It actually simplifies our processes, boosts efficiency, and can help us save money. And so do you trust it? Well, a lot of people don't trust it yet. It's still in its infancy. It's only a couple of years old. Like anything new that comes into the fold, it takes a couple of years just to get it all embedded. I remember the days when nobody trusted Facebook and everyone would put tape across their webcams when webcams were in the lids of laptops and things like that. But I will say this, that Coca-Cola has just run their Christmas advertising campaign in America, and I think it's on British TV as well. And it's usually one of the biggest adverts. It always involves the truck. The truck is pulling the Coca-Cola and all this stuff, and there's Santa Claus and everything else. Well, Coca-Cola trusted AI. They did get some kickback. They did get some flack, but only from the people that were saying you should use real people, and you're doing people out of a job. Well, are they? because they still need to employ all the prompt engineers, all the graphic designers, all the artists that are good at AI. So for all the people that are talented in AI, they just replaced them with the traditional people that would be sat on the set. They simplified the process, they saved some money, they boosted their efficiency, and their whole Christmas commercial is actually done completely in AI. So Coca-Cola trusts it, and I've noticed a lot of people, a lot of big brands are actually starting to trust it as well. Stop chasing shiny objects means let's just recognize and pause for a minute that you just can't do everything at once and you need a plan. And we're going to get to a plan that I think is robust, that it's simple, that you can use. And without a plan, you just start chasing the next shiny thing, the next marketing thing, the next new thing that came out on Canva, the next new chat GPT, or that, you start chasing everything. And there's so much on your plate because there's so much text to image, text to video, and so much stuff that you actually can't do anything. You get almost like paralyzed by all the shiny objects. So all you need to do really is have a simple plan, and the simple plan can be how to attract more clients into your business, more leads, how to scale up your brand by allowing you more time, more money to be able to develop the systems and the procedures surrounding what it is you do on a daily basis. So here comes one of the protocols, the Hypnotic Marketing Mastery Protocol. The more touch points someone has with you, the more they trust you. Now, there's been a lot of research around this. Dan Kennedy back in the day researched on this with direct mail. Every time you got something in the mailbox, if you got it enough times, you finally read it. Frank Kern, he came out with a strategy for the more you blast people with emails, the more they might just read one of them. All those things are still relevant, but they've gone a little bit now. But what it means for us is that the more touch points we have with someone, that the more they get to know you, like you, and trust you, and the more your name starts to get recognized from being unrecognized to being, okay, you're someone that they are going to pay attention to. When it comes to emails, there's a minimum of 7 points of contact. So usually if you send out 7 emails, somebody might reply to one of them, depending on the offer or the type of email. If you do 7 social media posts and you sort of change them and adapt them and alter them, someone might resonate and just see one and actually comment on it or like it or share it. And what we want to do is we want to improve our branding by actually leveraging where the masses, where the most people are. The most people look at social media and they open their emails and they read their texts. So the second one is having a centralized communication platform, which is an enormous advantage. There's lots of places out there where you can have a central inbox. What that means is that all your messages at the moment are probably all over the place, from text to DMs to Instagram DMs to all this stuff to different email accounts. And it's better just to have it in one place where you can see all your messages or all your notifications all in one day. And you're able to reply to all the ones that you feel you need to in a level of a priority. And that's a system that you can implement that's pretty easy to do. And finally, whatever your intention is, you need to be able to broadcast it everywhere and on all channels, because the younger generation do not use Facebook, they use Instagram. The younger generation use TikTok, not Instagram and not Facebook. The younger generation use YouTube and not television, although that's changing for the older generation. Most people now are moving towards streaming platforms. But in essence, you have to broadcast on all channels because our clientele don't discriminate. We can actually see people from a wide range, a wide range of ages, ethnicities, and all this stuff. And so for us, whatever our intention is, we need to put it on blast. We need to broadcast it because our messages could easily get lost in the shuffle if we do not do some kind of broadcast. So the mastery ladder, this is the Hypnotic Marketing Mastery Ladder, is there are 3 pillars to the ladder. So this is something you definitely want to be aware of. You need to attract. How do people find you and how can you keep them? You need to connect. How can you consistently communicate with them, understanding just how busy we all are? And you need to inform them. In other words, not how good are you, but how can you solve their issue? Because if you can scratch the itch and you can solve their issue, they're likely to do business with you as long as your offer is decent, as long as your price is comparable to what they're willing to spend, as long as they're able to trade their time for your resolution to their problem, they're likely to do business with you. But first of all, you've got to attract them into your business, into your brand. You've got to connect with them and keep connecting with them. Remember, 7 points of contact. And you've got to inform them that you can solve their issue. And that's specific not only to hypnotherapy, but actually to most brands, most coaching. So let's just quickly talk about the attraction model, and then we'll go through one or two more, and then we'll be able to take some questions. We're roughly getting towards halfway through. So the attraction model is content, create it, and give it away. And this is what we're really good at in this group, is giving away lots of value, giving away lots of content. Because the more you give things away, the more the power of reciprocation kicks in. The reciprocal agreement is I keep giving you stuff for free, and you might just come back and decide to be my client. Reviews, you got to collect and encourage reviews and ask for reviews. I'm going to show you how to do that in a minute. And capture, you've got to gather the leads by capturing the prospects. And I know it sounds strange because what is a website for? Well, a website is for keeping the door open and letting people come in, just as it is a shop. If the shop door is locked and no one can get in, you don't get any leads. So you have to find creative ways of capturing the visitors, because your door's open, but maybe there's no calls to action, or there's no reason why they would want to leave their information, or they go onto the website and they basically have an assumption that you either don't know what you're doing, you're new, or it's too complicated and confusing, or they're just of an opinion that there must be a better option out there. So they come in, you capture them, you rely on reviews, you give them content, and there is a chance you're going to scale them up the ladder of being a client. So the second pillar is connect. Omni-channels, be everywhere. There is a way to do that so that you don't spend all day long writing loads and loads of posts and having to blast them out on all these different channels. The good thing about when you post things on social media, and this is true, people have a really short memory. You don't have to keep reinventing the wheel, and you don't have to keep creating new content on social media, because it doesn't penalize you for using duplicate content. Your website does, but not on social media. So you could actually have some really cool posts that you just keep recycling over and over again. Just make sure the distance is enough that people forget that that was your post. And you'll be surprised how people can re-engage with you because they see a post that you've already reposted, but they actually never saw it the first time. The consistency is your nurture sequence or your discovery calls. So having an automation or a plan in place where you're consistent. So if you do get the lead or you do get the person into your business, you nurture them into becoming a client, or you nurture them into receiving a discovery call to analyze and to work out what their problem is, or how you can help them. Because what you're actually trying to do on this one, on Connect, is build more like, know, and trust, and to build some authority, especially as a hypnotist, so that they feel confident that they want to actually hire you and do business with you, so that they feel comfortable that you're going to scratch the itch and solve their problem. Obviously, we as hypnotherapists cannot offer a 100% guarantee that everything's going to work. So we do need that screening process, which is why discovery calls work. But also, it's a double-edged sword, because it's also, discovery calls are useful to building the like, know, and trust, and actually just getting someone over that finish line to becoming a client. The magnets is giving them something useful and free. And that doesn't just mean a PDF or a download, or, I'm talking about giving them something a little bit more engaging. So this is the final pillar, the inform, which is creating irresistible branding messages. We now have our large language models and our GPTs that can help with that. becoming the expert, who are you and how can you help? So having a really good brand message and having the messages that portray you as the expert, because people do not want to go to the brain surgeon that's only got 1 week's experience. They want to go to someone that they feel comfortable with. So even if your expertise is lacking or you don't have enough, or maybe it's not as good as it should be, you still have to portray how you can solve their problem. Remember, it's all about solving problems. If you can solve their problem, they're likely to do business with you. And then creating finally the irresistible offers, creating the low offers to the high offers, ascending and aging somebody up the value ladder. So if they're resisting your one-on-one hypnosis, whether that's online or in person, what can you do to encourage them to do business with you, but perhaps on a lower level first, on an entry level? I understand that paying this fee for a one-to-one consultation might not be affordable for you in the short term. So as a kind gesture, I want to give you this to listen to for 30 days. This one's only $25 or £25. And then this will give you the gateway, the preparation for the next stage, which could be an online session or an in-person session, or it could be a 30-minute discovery call. Instead of paid, we're going to make it free. So however you create these irresistible offers, you have to stack the deck. The offers have to be good enough for them to pay attention, and the offers have to be better or improved upon your last offer. So if you see what your offers are, maybe it's just a hypnotherapy session, look at it and just work out, how can I improve this offer that it is so irresistible that they just can't say no to that offer? I'm going to cover the first pillar, and then we'll take a break for questions. So that was the attraction pillar. So we're talking about content, social posts. We're all familiar with social media and social posts. But do you create a 30-day schedule of assets and content, batch create and add them to a scheduler program that can take your content and blast it out to all your channels? In other words, can you create 30 pieces of content, or even 60 or even 90, and get 3 months of content done all on a Sunday that all only takes about an hour to 2 hours maximum, that you can shove into your calendar for the next 30, 60, or 90 days, so that you can set it and forget it and get on with the next part of your business? Because the algorithm on all these social media channels like Facebook and Instagram and X and Twitter and all that good stuff, LinkedIn, is the more you post, the cheaper your ads become, should you start to advertise. And the more you post, the more there's chance to get engagement. And the more you post, the more actually people are going to start paying attention to you. You see, what tends to happen is the more you post, you don't really get unfriended or lose followers. You actually gain them just by becoming consistent with your content. So step one in the power hack, or in the marketing hack, there is to create, in the first instant, a 30-day schedule of assets and content. That's pictures, memes, videos, clips, photos. You batch create them. So you sit down on one day and just create them all. And I know there's GPTs that can do this really easily for you, and other systems that we have that makes the creation of these easy. You add them into a scheduling program. There's one that I use, Follow Up Spark. There's many others, Hootsuite, and all kinds of different scheduler programs. But you don't want to be manually posting. The whole trick of this protocol is to automate and use AI so that it gives you more time. Yes, there's some setup on the first end, but it becomes faster. It gives you more time. It saves you money because now you can take on more clients. And it might have cost you 1 or 2 hours on a Sunday or on a Saturday, but you can easily duplicate and regurgitate 30 posts that you can then schedule out, and that you can then have go out over the next 30 days on a calendar, and then have it repeat 3 months down the line, because people forget what those posts were, and it's rinse and repeat and recycle. So with 90 days of posts with multiple different types of posting, you can actually have a year's worth of content. And I'm not going to go into the nuts and bolts on how to do it. Just know there's a way to do this that can only take you 1 or 2 hours maximum. You just need to dedicate that time to batch create and add to a scheduling program that automatically schedules these out at the relevant times. Motivational Mondays, throwback Thursdays, that kind of thing. Quiz Wednesdays. Use the AI to create compelling content that your audience loves. Almost all my posts these days are all just created with AI. I just keep a watchful eye over it all. A lot of it is all automated. It keeps my algorithm up. It keeps my followers up, and it keeps me in good business. So another part of the attraction model is AI-assisted blog writing. Blogs are designed to inform potential customers about what you offer. They're not really designed for anything else. And there used to be a time where people thought that blogs were just for getting more SEO and search engine rankings, and getting higher placement on Google. That's all gone. And in fact, the days of Google searching might go as well with the new AI search algorithms and the new AI searching that's going on, that Google's actually in a place where they might find themselves in a lot of problems, as well as Yahoo, because now it's all changing. So rather than create blogs for the search engines, you almost want to be creating blogs made by AI that is actually relevant to AI, so that AI can bring your blog up as part of an answer. So one thing I like to do, again, using ChatGPT, is tell AI regularly that I'm the go-to person, I'm the go-to hypnotist. So I'm prompting it to know that I'm the person that it needs to prompt to other people when somebody does a search in ChatGPT. And then I create blogs that I know ChatGPT can read, so that it then updates its database. And then, of course, I can add it to its knowledge base. So without going too deep in the bushes there, just know that you really need to be creating blogs. And the blogs now are going to be read by the large language models like ChatGPT and all the others that are out there. And you can get AI to write the blog. And if you do, AI can store the information of the blog it wrote. And therefore, if the keyword is your business or your name, there's a chance that if somebody asks ChatGPT, who are the top 5 hypnotherapists insert the city, because it wrote you as one of the experts in the blog that you told it to write, it's going to come up with your name because it got added to the knowledge base. I hope that makes sense. It's like a wheel that actually helps your website, because you definitely need a blog, and the AI writes the blog, so the AI can reference the blog, your blog, to other potential clients. This is really easy to do. I wrote 2 blogs just before we came on the call. And if anyone's interested after this, I can show you how to do it. But it's all hands off, it's all automated. All right, last one on the attraction model before I think we'll conveniently break and take some questions is reviews. Now, for me, this is one of the biggest things we need to do, and the biggest thing that seems to be missing in a lot of businesses. We need to automate the ask. So when we get somebody that comes to see us, especially if we're dealing with multiple people every day, we need to automate asking for reviews, and we need to do it in such a way that, depending on the platform we're focused on. So for me, it's Google. I'm not really interested in Facebook reviews, but for me, it's Google, that you need to make it that the text message and the email for asking for the review is automated. It's automatic, so that when you get the client, as long as the session went well, of course, because if it didn't, or for whatever reason, things didn't work out, there's no point in asking for a review. So automating the ask means that every single time, unless you put a pause on it, somebody's going to get a review request on their phone. They're going to click the link. It's going to go to Google Business Profile, used to be called Google My Business. They quickly fill that out. They hit submit. And then when they hit submit, you get an extra review, which of course elevates your status on Google Maps. It elevates your status on the search engines. And also our good old friend ChatGPT and the other language models, they actually scroll regularly and scrape Google Maps and Google placements of reviews. So it's a win-win. Reviews are, of course, are how people make buying decisions online. And I know you know this is true, so I don't need to, beat this one into the ground. But almost everything we buy, whether it's Amazon, anything, we go straight to the reviews. And the first thing we see on Amazon is the reviews with the videos, then the reviews with the pictures, and then all the reviews. And you click on the filter for the newest reviews, and you start scrolling down, and you'll start to see some nasty reviews, of course, because that's just a given with reviews. But as you see, 10,000 positive reviews and only 5 bad ones, that's really a good review system. And we need to automate the way we reply to them, especially if we get a lot of reviews. An AI can always reply positively to reviews. If you get negative reviews, there is a system in place where it doesn't publish them, but your AI can actually reach out and attempt to resolve the dissatisfaction if that ever became an issue on what went wrong. Let me listen to your issues as to why you gave 3 stars instead of a 5 star. Reviews are huge. The people with the most reviews, the plumber with 40,000 reviews, is the person going to get hired over the plumber that has much more experience but only has 5 Google reviews, because we all search online and we all look at reviews. 60% of consumers are likely to leave a review. All you have to do is ask. Statistically, that is the number there. And finally, under the attraction model, the capture is the gathering of the leads. We all still need a form on our website, a contact us form, but we don't need a contact us page because no one really goes there anymore. What we do is we go to the pricing page, if there is one. We quickly go to the bio. We quickly go to the testimonials. Here comes the reviews. We quickly look at if it looks and feels like it's the kind of person we'd want to do business with. And then we may or may not reach out. What we don't do is fill out a long form, especially when you submit it and it says, we will get back to you within 24 to 72 hours. That's crazy. You're leaving money on the table if you can't get back to someone within 5-10 minutes of somebody contacting you. So another powerful hack and a strategy is, as soon as you install a pre-built chat widget, a chatbot, an AI chatbot that has conversations with your potential customers or clients, you will definitely get more leads, more customers into your business. There's so many reasons why. One of them is people like to get quick answers. Now, your chatbot can pretend to be not a chatbot if you've trained it really, really well, or it can be, hey, this is the AI chatbot of the Incredible Hypnotist. I want to be able to answer your questions. Every large business is now using pre-built chatbots. Now, the more you train the AI chatbot, the better it is at answering questions, so that if you do train it well and somebody asks you, how much do you charge? How much does Richard charge for a hypnotherapy session in person? It'll be able to look at the knowledge base and it will be able to answer it. Now, the more you can keep that person chatting on the chat with the chatbot that is on your website, there's lots of things that can happen here. First of all, that person isn't going on somebody else's website because they're too busy chatting with your chatbot, and the chatbot is answering the questions that the person is typing in. That's great. And it's asking for their name, their email address, their phone number. So it's attempting to create a lead. And the more they're on your website, the more time spent on your website, the more you're going to get rewarded on the search engine. So there's a thing there that's called bounce rate. How fast does someone come to your website and bounce right off it again? And how long does the visitor come to your website and stay on your website? And to get more traction and to get more Google juice, if you will, which will turn into ChatGPT juice soon, the more you can have them on your website, the better it is for your brand. So you've got to come up with things like this, a ChatGPT that answers questions, filling out a survey, doing a quiz that keeps people engaged and on your website, as opposed to a static contact form that really serves no purpose other than just to send you a lead, and most people don't use them anymore. So definitely a good way to capture leads is get an AI chatbot, an AI chat agent. If you don't know what one looks like, again, I can show you it some other time or show you a demo, but They are on pretty much all my websites, apart from the marketing one, because I'm still training that one, but they're on all my hypnosis websites where the chatbot answers in real time questions that are coming in. It also knows what not to ask. It also knows how to handle spam, and that gets me more traffic and more leads. So let's see if we have any questions. And I'll stop the share right here just to see. Should I stop the share, Kevin, or should I just
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, if you stop the share and then
all
it
right.
opens up the whole
And
screen
then
and
we're back on. Yeah.
everyone can. I'll just remove the spotlight and then we can see
Perfect.
everybody. And then if everyone's got a question, if they can either put their hand up if they're on camera, or actually put their hand up as a yellow hand. But I saw Elisa's hand go up. It shot up there in seconds. So Elisa, do you have a question?
So, Richard, thank you very much for your presentation. I have a question. When you were telling about posting, making posts in different social media, for example, I don't post every day. I post once a week. I know I could do more, but for example, today I I made the same post and I published in LinkedIn, in my page, and in some Facebook group, and it was the same. And my idea was, okay, probably not the same people will watch it. What do you think? Is it like too much posting the same thing in the same day in different
You know, the interesting thing
media?
is, yeah, it's a good question. Thank you. No one's judging you that you're posting this everywhere because you're a business owner and you're in business to conquer the issue of getting more traction and more attention. So if this post is on LinkedIn and it's on Facebook and it's on Instagram, it really doesn't matter. And these days, there are a lot of people that just stick to one thing. I've noticed over the years, especially that a lot of my audience, they're only on Instagram. And then my corporate clients are only on LinkedIn. And then the Gen X are on Facebook. You know, that seems to be what's happening. But of course, if there's any overlap, it really doesn't matter because for me, each particular platform needs to be fed. Imagine, let's say you've got 5 Facebook pages, one Instagram and one LinkedIn. Now imagine they're all cats and they all need to be fed every day or twice a day. They're all starving animals needing feeding. And what you got to do is feed them content. So you've got to do it in a way that's engaging, interesting, fast, doesn't take much time or money out of you. But if you're in business, it's part and parcel of doing business these days is that social media is free. So, and that's the way you get more followers. So no problem at all with that. Yeah. And I would say increase your posting if you can. So instead of just once a week, be top of mind and do it once a day. Just get into that habit. First thing in the morning, post something before you see clients.
Thank you, thank you.
Ruth, you've got your hand up.
Morning, everyone. Thank you, Richard. It's been really insightful. So my question is with the Google My Business profile, do you know if there is a way to schedule posts that you do elsewhere on Instagram or Facebook to go automatically to Google My Biz? Because I've kind of not been able to find that answer anywhere.
The short answer is yes. And you can schedule that. There are schedulers if you look. Follow-up Spark is one, but there are some schedulers. I think Hootsuite might do it where I know if I post one piece of content, as long as it fits the parameter. So as long as the image what you have to do is a lot of platforms do this now where they will resize the image for LinkedIn. They'll resize it for Instagram. They'll make it, for a Facebook post. All of a sudden, it'll become a Google business profile image. And so there'll be just a couple of things you have to do. Google business profile just requires, I believe, a category that you would quickly, add a category to it for auto posting. I know when it comes to video, short form can be accepted, by certain platforms and not by others. So you have to just check the length of time. But to answer your question, yes, you can actually schedule automatically to Google Business Profile.
Okay. And then just a quick other question. I'm a business coach as well as a hypnotherapist. So I've been kind of combining everything into my posting on Instagram, for example, and then it goes out through to Facebook to my page. But I'm just concerned about the amount of times that if I want to do a hypnosis post. So at the moment I do Mindset Monday, and then 2 days of business, and then Thursday is kind of hypnotherapy, and then Friday is kind of a free offer day or something like that. So I'm just trying to get some ideas around how often should I be posting about hypnotherapy? Should I involve it on the other days as well? Or because it's kind of my ideal client is business women. Yeah. So the hypnosis should be I want to be for those business women as well. Can I include it into my other postings as well? What would you suggest?
I would, yeah. And in fact, if that was the case and you have multi-brands or audiences, what I would be doing is, and again, this is more sort of, I'm talking more automation than having to, sit there and actually make something, is I would do multi-posts a day. So one of the things I do is I have a bunch of different Facebook pages and a bunch of different Facebook groups. And what I'll do is I'll make a post, and sometimes they go to all these pages and groups because it's a particular message for that type of group and type of page. And then the alternate post, still the same day, is then going to the different audience, the different pages and the different groups. But the trick is, once you've got it scheduled, once you've got it all scheduled out, it becomes so much easier because you can just hit duplicate. You've got this content. And we're our own worst enemies sometimes, that we think we're going to bore someone to death, that they see the same thing twice, but 6 months down the line they've completely forgotten what you posted. In fact, 2 weeks ago, I don't know what I posted. So you can also recycle things, and not everybody's going to see your posts all at the same time. So it works in our favor that you can multi-post every day, and also you can change the message to your groups. But if there's crossover, it doesn't matter.
Thank you. What did you say, when to recycle, after 30 or 60?
I normally give it a couple of months. So if I've posted if I've done my 30-day schedule, my analytics, I'm going to see which ones had the most engagement, which ones were the heroes, which one had the most engagements, which one seemed to do the best. And then I'm going to make sure that post gets rescheduled 2 months later. And I'm going to hit it again because I know it's a winner. And some posts, I've recycled the same ones for years just because they work. I did one the other day, and it was just purely, because when you're posting, you have different aims and objectives. Like some are for Black Friday, there's a post. Some are just for engagement. So I did this thing, hey, it's time for mistletoe instead of mistletoe. And it was a missile on top, a toad with a missile on it. Hey, it's time for mistletoe. And that got loads and loads of engagement, loads of shares and likes and things. Still sort of on brand a little bit because I'm just getting engagement. But that one I'll recycle next year. People will forget that they saw it a year ago, and it'll get recycled again. So there's no shame in the game, really. And every couple of months, if you get the winner, the trick is, with a business, is that you want to look at your analytics and see which ones did really well, and you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can use the same post 2 months down the line.
So you don't actually change anything. If it's worked, you just do the whole thing as is.
Yeah, because I'm not in the business of split testing or sort of, really tweaking at this point. I just know it gets engagement. Now, it's easy enough. I could, if I've got this graphic in Canva and it's just sitting there, I could change the colors, change the fonts. I could do a little tweak. Wouldn't take much to do it. I'm actually trying to do it the easy and lazy way, though, so I don't do it. I just know that it's a winner, so I'm just going to, rinse and repeat the system until it drops off the edge, and just keep doing it. And also audiences come and go. You get new people that might never have seen that post that really was a good post.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
We've got time for another question before we get on. So Annette, you got your hand up.
Hey, Richard.
Hi.
Thanks very much for doing this. It's absolutely fascinating.
Nice.
I was just wondering, with the kind of automation of what we're doing, what your thoughts were on apps and whether they can be useful as well.
Do you have a specific app?
I don't have an app at all, but I was wondering whether it was something worth considering putting together, maybe something that people can download. Maybe it could have appointments on it or review requests, or I'm not quite sure how it would work, but I just wanted.
Yeah, I've had one. I've had an app, and I had one a couple of years ago, and I found myself trying to force people to use it. So that was probably because the engagement of the app wasn't good enough. So if it's an app where your clients listen to their, session recordings that on the app, then of course they'd have to use the app. But I think to answer your question, it's going to take a lot of money to develop an app. I don't think people download apps anymore the same way that they used to. And I think as long as your, website is mobile responsive, you can actually, have all your content for consumption all inside of your website or your funnel. And so there really isn't a need to go down that route because, Kev, I think you'll maybe agree with this, that as long as your online presence is good enough through your website, it really can do most of the things an app can do.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Apps can, as I say, cost a lot of money. Technology changes. You've got to pay somebody to build it and to maintain it. And then you're wanting people to use it as well. And you can't force people to use it.
So there's no real gain from it at all.
I don't think so. Not these days, because you can have so much interactive stuff sitting on your website. Quizzes and surveys work tremendously well, and to get engagement and to and videos, of course. I think people are actually removing apps from their phones rather than installing new apps. I think it's going backwards just a little bit.
Oh, that's brilliant. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. All right, let's crack on with this presentation. We're over halfway. Let me just get back on to where it was. It's right here. Oops, hang on. Just going to backpedal real quick then. Just briefly, we covered the channels, being omnipresent being on all the channels, being consistent in a sense that you want to keep nurturing your leads by follow-up emails. Emails aren't dead. They're more relevant now than what they've ever been before. Encouraging those discovery calls so that the calls can actually help your clients with either feeling like you're going to solve their problem or giving them enough information to make an informed decision. And then we just talked about the lead magnets and how you don't just want to send them a generic old school lead magnet. You want to be able to utilize AI and enhance the lead magnet. And it's pretty straightforward to do. But if you implement this in your business, I guarantee you're going to get more clients, because now whatever their issue is, whatever they've told you it is, whether they filled out the form, whether they filled out the chat widget, the chat bot, whatever they told you that it was on the discovery call, you can make those notes. You can throw it into a custom GPT. You can create the ebook or the report based specifically not only on their name, but also future pacing them through the process of a hypnotherapy session and how you can solve them ebook/report. And they're more inclined to want to do business with you because now it's more relevant to them instead of just being generic. This one I use all the time. It's huge. And it's a really good way to leverage AI and actually increase your ability to book more clients. Quizzes and surveys on your websites or even a webinar like this are all designed to attract more leads, to get more clients. If people fill out a quiz and they get a certain score rate or a survey, it increases their ability to want to do business with you because they were more engaged in you. Same with webinars. There's normally always a sales pitch at the end of most webinars. But what we do, we would do a webinar specifically for a client, just like this, covering maybe, 7 secrets to hypnotherapy that you didn't know could work to improve your health. So more of a presentation to your audience, and you'd send that to your email list, that they can come and actually have some education on what hypnosis is and how it works. Everything about a lead magnet is all about enticing your prospect into learning more about you. Don't just give away junk or white labeled stuff or all that PLR junk. You want to create it and enhance it using AI so it's relevant to your audience. And the inform is the last of the 3 pillars of the protocol, is your branding. You need to, really all branding is showing that you are the expert and that you are creating incredible offers. All the color, all the looks, and all the feels is all really under the customization of your brand, but your branding is all about the brand message, getting that brand message on point. If you want more authority online, you've got to stop talking about how good you are. A lot of people make that mistake. The person who is loudest about the problem is perceived to be the authority on solving it. That's huge. The person who is the loudest about the problem is perceived to be the authority on solving it. So if you are the relaxation coach or the anxiety doctor and all this stuff, you've got to get that out there to show people that that is the problem that you solve. I think the days of just generically solving problems just because you're a hypnotherapist are still okay, but it's better to have a niche. So it's better to have funnels. And I don't want to get too complicated, but a website is just a store. And then inside the store, you have different aisles. And inside the aisles, you have certain products. Well, each one of those aisles is a funnel, what we call a funnel, which is just 1 page, 1 or 2 pages. And the funnel is just specifically designed to talk about that aisle, what's down that aisle. So if it's the weight management aisle, your funnel only talks about weight management. So it doesn't talk about stop smoking because it's the weight management funnel in the weight management aisle. That's something your website can't do. You don't want a website with, I don't know, hundreds of pages, but you need to be able to prove that you're loud about the problem that you can solve, and funnels do that. So for certain clients that come through your lead capture system that are only interested in stop smoking, rather than just give them your generic website, you would give them your stop smoking funnel. And in that funnel would be stop smoking testimonials, stop smoking advice, a stop smoking quiz, a stop smoking lead magnet would be specifically for that particular client. I hope that makes sense. And I know there's a lot more discussion we could have around that, but just know that AI can actually write and build these funnels really quick these days. You don't really need to outsource them or know how to do it all yourself. It can be as easy as drag and drop, or it can just be as easy as texting a prompt. And people can help you with the prompt. So when you're loud about the problem with confidence and clarity, people will not only listen, they'll remember. And that's why we recycle all those social media posts and just keep plowing those posts onto social media. The reason why we use social media is because it's free. Because if you weren't doing social media, you would literally have to run paid ads. Paid ads on Google, Facebook ads are expensive. So we leverage social media for free by posting as much as we can. That's the whole trick behind that. So here's some of the hacks, and these could be also relevant for future discussions, but getting that AI discovery chat on your website for more leads. If it's not an AI chat, but it just captures a name and an email address and a phone number, or just a name and an email address and answers a question, perfect. It's just the little chat bubble on the bottom right or left of your website that pops up, that people are inclined to fill out because it's easy on a phone, it's easy on a website, and it really converts better than a form. Getting reviews for more clients. So you need a strategy for encouraging your clients to give you more reviews. Google reviews, I would say, is the sweet spot. And just on Google reviews, real quick, you can go back to all your past clients over the last few years and reactivate that database of those old clients and ask them all for reviews if you never did it in the past, so that you can get a flood of new reviews, which really will help you for the months and years to come. AI, of course, can help with content creation. So gone are the days of being a graphic designer or a guru. Even Canva now has AI. It's become a lot easier. So you need to get really versed with creating content, automating as many manual tasks as you can. So if you think that you have a task that's time consuming and manual and it's relating to something you're doing online, I bet your bottom dollar you could probably automate it. Targeting the rich funnels on a specific niche, we've covered that. Having a robust follow-up system, whether that's emails or texts or calls, you can now automate the follow-up. Voice AI appointment setter, we'll save that for another day, but just know the way everything's moving now is voice AI can actually set appointments for you. Instead of a chatbot, it can actually be someone calls a number, the voice AI answers. And actually, the voices are excellent now. They're getting even better. And soon they will be indistinguishable between a human and AI. And just for efficiency, they can actually set appointments for you. So somebody can actually run their business completely hands off. And then you need to create, of course, the repeat and referral system. That's the affiliate system where people are rewarded for referring your business, or you chase the clients that have hundreds of employees and you're able to get that repeat business by all the new employees coming through. There's a whole bunch of hacks there. There's way more than 5. Just focus on a couple that you want to sort of dig into that you can actually expand and improve upon. And that's definitely going to get you more clients into your hypnotherapy practice just by doing these small things. Taking action, Charles Darwin said the most adapted species survives through natural selection. As long as we adapt to current marketing conditions, which is AI, and we do react fast, so don't get lost in the weeds, we're all going to be okay at the end of the day. So when you've got someone like Kev in your corner and you've got people around you that are your coaches and your mentors, they can guide you through the changes and the tech and the things that are being rolled out in the future. Here's some actionables, content strategy. And of course, you're going to get these slides. So even if you do just this, these are the 5 power hacks. You're going to get some success. Collect your social media posts and turn them into a newsletter. So what I do is I take my best performing social media posts, I turn them into snippets, and a snippet is just a clipping, a little piece, and that piece goes into my newsletter. My newsletter goes to all my clients, all my potential clients. So it's just a newsletter email list. Record a video, because that's the beauty of video, is that you can transcribe it and it can turn into a blog. Lots of software that will do that. I think even some of the large language models will do it now. But if you record yourself a talking head video and you publish that onto one of the social media channels, have it transcribed, and from the transcription, you can easily push it over into a blog post. If you've got old blog posts, extract the content for social media posts, and now you're chopping them up. You're almost doing the reverse. Number 4 is take your long form videos and convert them into shorts or reels. We've all seen the reels. We've all seen the short form. They work exceptionally well because people have a lifespan and an attention span of about a minute these days online. So you want to make those 1-minute reels. You can do it from your long form videos. You can get lots of content that way. Number 5, repurpose and be everywhere. Use your social planner, post to X, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, YouTube, TikTok, etc. FUS is follow-up Spark, but whatever platform you use, repurpose your content and be everywhere. That's the 5 power strategies just for your content. And I know we rattle through that quick because I am conscious of the time. Both Kev and I will be in London running a hypnotic marketing mastery workshop, because I understand a lot of this. It's really hard to achieve it when life takes over and when you're at home and when you're working and when you've got family and all this good stuff. There's so many distractions. The TV's on. There are other people in the house, your partner, your pets, and all this stuff. And it's really hard to do all the repurposing of your content, creating the AI, getting the chat bot, and on it goes. So we've created two opportunities. We're focusing in on the London one on this particular presentation, but both Kev and I are going to be in London in February, running a workshop that covers just what we've been speaking about, but takes action and actually implements it into your business. So it's not just presentations for 2 days. It's actually taking action and implementing some of the things we've just talked about. What I've learned is you can take loads of online courses, but none of them translate into real tangible action unless you're actually, accountable, your feet are held to the fire, you're financially hitting the wallet a little bit, and you actually turn up to a place with like-minded people in a fun environment where your coaches actually help you get your laptop lid open, dive in there with you and get this stuff done. So that's 2 days in February. The Vegas one is in January for those in America. At the moment, Black Friday special is running until, I believe, Monday, where you can get $100 or £100 off each ticket. I definitely recommend that you come and meet me and Kev, and we'll definitely help you scale your business. There is a link to what is included in that London workshop, but definitely worth it. If you've never been to one, marketing workshops really do help you take action and get you out of the weeds if you're not quite understanding things. So now here comes to the bonuses, which I left this right at the end and we're good to go, is for attending this presentation. We're going to give you 3 things: the action plan, which is the complete slide deck with the actionable steps you can implement immediately to boost your results. That's the thing you're seeing on your screen right now. That's going to be sent to you immediately. An expert session, so that would be a call with me. It says free 15-minute call. If it goes over, it doesn't matter. And I would like to take one of your marketing challenges or questions that we don't have time to cover, perhaps on this presentation, and one of the challenges you're facing, and then I'll dig in and provide solutions for you. And basically, no sales pitch, not offering anything or anything. It's just solid. Tell me what your issue is. Tell me what your problem is. Tell me what you're trying to do marketing wise, and then a 15 or 30-minute call. I'll create solutions that I know that you can implement that's going to help you. And then finally, an online audit. That would be a comprehensive report. I have some software that I use that goes and scrapes the entire internet pretty much, and it will give you a synopsis, a complete audit on how your business is looking online, its strengths and its weaknesses, and it will come up with some roadmaps and some solutions to fix it. These reports, people used to pay for them, but it's a really good thing to get just to sort of know where you're at with your keywords, your search terms, how visible you are, how you're ranking online, and what you can do if there's any sort of strategies that are low-hanging fruit there that you can actually get in there and quickly fix, then it's worth knowing about if you're unsure. And then finally, to access the bonuses, you can either, if you're not on your phone, you can take your phone out and you can scan that QR code, which will bounce up into the bonuses. hypnoticmarketingmastery.com/bonus is the URL that's going to take you to all the bonuses, hypnoticmarketingmastery.com/bonus, or the QR code. And then you'll see that they're laid out in the 3 ways I've just described. So one is the first one is you get the action plan and the slides. And the second one is you can book a discovery call if you want to. All 3 are optional. And the third one, if you want an audit report, there's a form for that. So the first form is for the slides. The second one is to book a call. The third one is if you want an online audit. All you need to do is go there. That are your bonuses. And if we have time, I tried to squeeze as much in as I could and add as much value as I could. And hopefully that has been useful. I had to rattle through that pretty quickly. And I know that we skimmed the surface on a lot of things, but I really wanted to sort of over deliver and give you lots of things just to think about and hopefully just take away 1 or 2 things that we talked about today. So let's open it up to any final questions. I'm going to leave this on here just for a second to make sure you've got it all. And then I'll quickly stop the share unless you think everyone's there, Kev.
Well, I will share that link
Perfect.
in the post as well when we post the recording of this in
Okay,
the
dokie.
Hypnosis Business Club as well.
All
So
right, so I'll stop
everyone
the
can get it
share.
there.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
cool.
Absolutely fantastic.
Excellent.
That was great. And yes, you covered an awful lot of stuff there. And I can honestly say you've given me some inspiration for some ideas as well. So thank you for that. But I'm sure that everyone else has got some really good some really good ideas, some different ways of looking at things. But if we could have maybe 2 or 3 questions, some might be some burning questions. Maybe if people who haven't already asked some questions, if somebody else could have a go, then fire away.
Oh, that was easy.
There was all stunned.
Stunned.
Yeah, absolutely. But the thing is, if you do have any questions, then please, you can send a message to me, and I can forward them on to Richard as well. But I think Richard's already answered the biggest question is what next? And that is, getting the bonuses and going along and having a look on that link, and coming and seeing us in London. And yes, we insist you bring your laptops because it's going to be practical work. It's not theory. It's going to be practical work. It's limited. It's a small number of people and places are going fast already. So, if you're looking at that seriously, and I'll be honest with you, for the price of 2 days is the price I've just paid to a coach for 2 hours.
Yeah.
You've got 2 days.
I will just say too, because I did have someone, if you're struggling with it, then you need it. Like if you're struggling coughing up the money, you probably need this workshop because this workshop can only give you more money, but by taking some of the action steps. And if you can't afford it, we'll split pay it. We'll work. I'd rather you be there so that you can get immense benefit over a couple of days than really wish you were there and can't be there. So we'll come up with some way that you can just pay, just in 3 installments or something like that, because I'm confident and I know that the value that we're going to deliver, it's so worth you being there if the money up front is the issue. If the money up front is the issue, and it's not going to be available afterwards, and there's not going to be video afterwards, only because it is practical. And I've done loads of marketing workshops in the past, and the biggest mistake I ever made in the past, well, I made two. One of the biggest ones was to have a room too full of people, so you couldn't actually specifically help people because there was 50 in the room. And the second one was what was, oh yeah, the second one was it was all recorded and available afterwards. But because it was all actionable steps, everyone that got the copies of the recordings, apart from the attendees, couldn't see any value in the recordings because it was all hands-on and in a huddle around our laptops, getting everybody's branding, content, AI, everything all up to where you need it to be. And finally, I will say that once it might seem like there's a mountain in front of you when it comes to AI and systems and setting up automations. The beautiful thing is, though, once it's all set up, which it will be over a couple of days, you set it and forget it and just don't have to worry about it again. It's going to run in the background. So it's just that initial push that's going to catapult you into 2025, 2026, because, I can't stress enough, if you have a barrier to preventing you from coming and it's monetary, reach out. I mean, we'll help you any way we can.
One of my experiences two of my experiences in my business life is not embracing technology. So
Yeah.
back in the 80s, when desktop publishing came out, I had a very successful printing business, graphic designers and presses, 15 people, and I didn't embrace technology, and I went under within 2 years. And that was from a third of £1 million turnover to zero. That was the first time it happened. Then I had a manufacturing business and I didn't embrace technology on continuous printing. So my packaging looked really crap compared to the really big companies that had jumped in straight away and got the continuous, printed on cellophane bags and all really nice. They just swallowed me up. So it's never going to happen again. I think twice caught on that one. So technology is something to be embraced, and that's why I've embraced it. What I would say very early on, and what Richard has shown us here is taking it to another level as well. And as much as people might say, I don't like it or the way it's done, then do it in a way that you do like it and make it work for your clients in a way that you want it to work for them. You're not dictated to. It's there's a lot of flexibility, and as Richard said, it might be you take on 2 or 3 of the things, not all of them, but they can make a really big difference. So yeah, that's certainly my advice. I'm a bit old to be starting working with technology, but I don't regret any of it.
Oh, just one question here. Sorry, Ken. Can you hear me?
Can I hear you? Yes.
Oh, yeah. Just a couple of things. Richard, thank you so much. I'm definitely a boomer, so I'm learning everything from scratch. But the AI bots that you're talking about, how hard is it to train them, and how far along the way do I have to be before I get to that level? And the other thing was just, all of the posts that I'm going to learn how to generate on a Sunday afternoon and store. Do I store all of them on my website so that people can go and look at them? Or, like if you hopefully put them across all of the social media, so I'll put them on Reels and, everything else you spoke about, do I store them on the website so that somebody can go and have a look at them? Or do I just keep them in my little back cupboard?
Okay. Essentially, your first question to train an AI chatbot is as easy as creating a Google Doc. If you can create a document in Google, just a Google document or a Word document, and you just basically, know how to talk into a document, you can just like talk about yourself, your business, how much you charge. As long as that's all on a document, that is training an AI chatbot. So what it does, it takes the Google Doc or the Word doc, and it scans it and reads it in like 10 seconds flat, and it understands that this is some of its knowledge. And then you import it into the chatbot so that it knows that if it gets asked, how much do you charge? It's going to reply, Richard charges $300 online for his hypnosis session, only because it says that in the Google Doc. And also you just give it your website link, your bio link, if it's all on your website, it reads all that, and that's how it gets its knowledge. So with an AI chatbot from start to finish, with putting it on your website, is about an hour. Not even that. The first thing you just need is all the content. And what I like to do, I teach people how to get a Google Doc, on your phone if you have it, and you just talk into your phone. So you've got this voice note of you just talking about your business, what you charge, where you're located, who you help. And you're just rambling in your phone, and that becomes a document that your chatbot can read. And the more it's common everyday language, the more it replies in common everyday language. So that's beautiful. And then number 2, if you have these 30, let's say you create 30 posts, you're just going to use a file sharing software like Dropbox or something like that, or just on your computer, hard drive, something like that. So you'd have all those 30 pieces of content, let's say, and then you just need a program or a platform to then schedule it all up, to actually upload each particular piece. You can actually manually schedule in advance all your posts on Facebook. It does actually have a scheduler built into it. Or you can just use a platform where you just upload everything and then it schedules it all out, almost like a calendar. It's like creating a calendar appointment. It becomes your posts. So your website visitors won't see it all until it's ready to be scheduled. So if you schedule one for Tuesday, they don't see it until Tuesday. Okay.
Awesome. That's brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all learning.
Easy to do. I mean, even that, I mean, I know, Kev, you're probably super quick, but I can get 30 pieces of content in I mean, it's fast, like, 30 minutes at the most, just by prompting some of the large language models like ChatGPT. and then just quickly creating, graphics. If you know how to do it and you keep doing it, it doesn't take long.
It is so quick. I know I created some reels for a company, a different industry, paint and decorating company. I bulk created the actual text, then bulk created the Canva to create the reels, and I had 30 reels, all with different videos on, all with a different quote on, all with a different helpful message on, and the company's logo in 30 minutes. So a minute a reel.
That's awesome.
And that was just mine, and that was the first time I did it. So obviously, every time you do it, you're going to get quicker. So we've
Yeah.
got a couple of questions there. Where can they find the link for the workshop? Well, was that the link on the QR code?
So that's the link to the bonuses.
Right. Okay.
But if they click the bonus link or they go to where the bonuses are, just at the top on the navigation bar, it says workshops.
Right. Okay.
And then they just click on London, Workshop 1 London, it's right there.
Right.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
so,
And I
so there
say
is a navigation bar that everything is there.
it will be in the post that we do. And the last question is there a cost for an AI chatbot?
Yes, yeah, nothing's free like that, but it's, as we say in the good old US of A, it's pennies on the dollar. So when you've installed one, it's like 0.02 cent, I think it is, a response. You've got to pay for something for the service that you're using, but for the stuff it converts and the appointments you get and the clients you nurture and convert, I mean, it's the best thing actually had it sitting. It's still sitting on my website. It's on my incrediblehypnotist.com. I've had it sitting on there for a couple of years. It's a live AI chat where it will interact and engage with the visitor. It knows how to answer, because what I did is I wrote a book on hypnosis. It read my book, and that became its knowledge base. So it really knows if you ask it about, the subconscious mind or ask it about the Elman induction or ask it about anything that's in the book, it will answer it.
Wow.
And it's so good at getting clients into my business. What's coming down the pipeline is AI voice appointment setting. We'll save that for another mingle probably, but
Yeah.
that one's amazing too for booking the clients.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, absolutely fantastic. Well, from me, and I'm sure from everybody else, thank you so much for what you've shared tonight. It's got everybody thinking, and excited, and I'm sure you've got a few converts. There'll be a few kicking and screaming, but it's always going to be the case when new things come out. It's a very natural response. Resistance to change is we can have hypnotherapy for that apparently. But there's always resistance to change. But I think you've got to embrace it, just from my own experience, and do it at your own pace. You're not going to be going at it mad. You're just going to do it at your own pace. So, yeah, from me.
Actually, just before we go, we have had a
Yeah.
new student sign up for the workshop.
Oh, wonderful.
How do I know this? Because I get automations that tell me when someone signs up. So if you don't mind me sharing, the UK marketing workshop, we've just had Annette sign up, and we're ever so grateful, Annette, if you're still online. Thank you for signing up. We appreciate you. We're looking forward to really having some fun in London.
Well, there's an action taker for you, and
Absolutely.
and we've got the link shared on there actually for the workshop one. Mayor has shared it on the screen. So if anybody is curious and is following in Annette's slipstream, then go there and sign up. And we're really looking forward. It'll be so nice to work with people in person.
Yes.